Hi everybody, this is Kim from Creating It Vintage by Kim. Welcome in. Welcome to my craft room today. I'm opening a new little jar of paint here. This is Dixie Belle Burlap. Get that off the top of the lid. And I'm going to start by just prepping my frame while people are hopping on. Mix that a little bit. This frame has the beads around it, and I did get this at the dollar store. Yeah, dollar store, not Dollar General, the dollar store. So let's get this all prepped and going today. People are popping on, and then I'll show you the print I'm using. Hi Judy, hi Ryan. Oops, I globbed a whole bunch of paint there. And the burlap's hard to see on the print because it's pretty, it's a pretty natural color. So you kind of have to pay attention to where you're painting. All right. So we're just prepping a frame while everybody is popping on, and then we'll let this dry. And I'll show you the print we're going to use from Reba Rose today. Her prints are phenomenal. And I've had this print for a while, and had many ideas of what to do with this print, but today we're going to do something very different. Hi Sandy. Oops, just dropped paint everywhere here. I'm used to, look at that. I'm making a mess. I'm used to using the old bottle where there wasn't much paint in it. I just threw it out. And this is a new bottle, so I've got to be a little more careful here. And you always have to paint the inner part of your frame. Don't forget that. That's a pain in the butt. Hi Susan, how are you today? I hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday. And if you're watching on replay, I hope you put hashtag replay on there so I could say hi. And if you like the paper I'm using or any papers of Reba Rose, I am an affiliate with her and it's in my link tree. You could get some of the papers from there. She has beautiful, beautiful papers. Unlike anybody else I've seen out there. Okay, our last part here. Hi Susan. No sun today. It's still dreary. I'm waiting for the sun. Ugh. Let's see. Try to get where it all seeped through a little. See, I missed that whole part there. Yeah, it's still dreary. It's not raining, but it feels like it's rained. You know, when you, like the next day after a good rain, you have that wet, cold feeling outside. That's what it feels like out there. All right. Now, with these frames, I found if you use a lot of color, it's hard to get in between these little beads. So you really want to pounce or use a smaller brush. Let me sit this over here to dry to get down in there. But now this paint, and I'm going to wax it, so we're pretty good on getting coverage there for as much as we need here today. Okay. All right, let's wipe my hands and some of the other spots here. Oh, I'm not seeing comments again. And I'm using, like I said, Dixie Belle burlap. And it's like a little mess that I made here. Okay. So, this is the Reba Rose print we're using today. Isn't it beautiful? And it's going to be hard for me because I'm going to break it apart in different parts here. And you'll see, but it's still going to be beautiful. And this is called Roses for Kathy, and it's 0790. So, I got this butterfly from Lexi Lee, or Lee Lexi. I always say her name backwards. And I already prepped it with the same color paint. And I'm going to show you how you do not just have to decoupage the picture just like this on a piece. We are going to take it apart and use this on the butterflies, on the butterfly. And let's see, I want that rose there, but I don't want to miss this rose. And then we'll get the blue here. All right, let's get some decoupage going here. You're probably thinking, oh no, because that's what I'm thinking, but I think it's going to turn out absolutely gorgeous. So we're thinking outside the box today. Oh, I got a comment. Hi, Connie. Welcome on in. I'm glad you guys are joining me today. I do have some clean paint brushes. All right, so I am going to I'm just using decoupage, medium Mod Podge. And I'm going to go, and I've already painted this bunny. I've done so many bunnies. I've already painted this butterfly. I did that last night. The same color in burlap. Excuse me. I have a little bit of a sore throat again today, but it goes away after I get moving. And I did bring my water in here, so we should be good. And so we're going to put this rice paper on here. Let me get some of this Mod Podge off. Make sure I have it on the edges. All right, just going to lay that one down. Okay, we'll see how this is going to turn out, guys. And I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful with these roses on top and the blue on the bottom. So let's get this dried a little. So today we're thinking outside the box of our Reba Rose prints, right? And I am going to have to get another print so I could just do this as a print like it is. Because this print's beautiful. Hi, Joy's Crazy for Crafts. Welcome in. Let's see. Yeah, it's still a little damp. And it is wrinkling just a little bit. And it's probably the way I'm doing it because the rest of the paper isn't. It's just in a couple spots, and I am okay with that. Okay. Making sure we're really on here. Okay, so let me just my hand under here and flip it because I just want to, before we start sanding it, I'm going to cut the excess parts off, make it easier for us. I should say for me. And then the little bit of paper that I save, I might be able to use it on something. We'll see. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Okay, let me get my Gator sander here. And this is just, let me get a new little thingy here. This is just another way that you can use Reba's prints. And it doesn't have to just be in a rectangle or a square. You know, you can put them on anything, and they're going to look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so. Oh, yoy. This one's not doing anything. Hold on. Now, this little bag here was from Temu. Hold on. Oh, here we go. It's a little rougher edge here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Kim. Hi, guys. Okay. I'm seeing a few comments coming through, which I love. Excuse me. I love talking to you guys. This is going to be so pretty. Okay, I don't really want to show you it until I have this sanded down here. When I looked at this print and I had this butterfly, I thought the print has all the colors of a butterfly, right? Let's get creative. Okay, now the cut in the butterfly on this part was very thin, so I'm going to have to go back and work with that. And Reba's papers, they just work beautifully with the sander, just so you have a good sander. The right grit. All right. This is where I'm not sure how far I could get in that spot there. You can see how far it's cut in here. Look how beautiful. Is that not beautiful and different? And you could still make out what was on that picture. All right, let me clean this up here. Now, let's say you wanted another rose on here, which I don't. I love the fact that you pretty much could tell what that picture was. And I think that looks so pretty. Now, we have the middle of the butterfly, which I'm thinking, just getting these roses here. Let's see this here. No, I think this part here. Okay, right there. I think what I'm going to do is hold this here. Hi, Margaret. I'm glad you caught me too. Oh, I'm glad. I come on for every Friday at 11 for Reba Rose's papers on my page and on her pages in Reba Rose Creations. And I just love her decoupage papers so much. All right, now this is the middle of the butterfly, which I was going to do something different, but I changed my mind. And if this doesn't look right and we need it more of a natural or solid color, we could just flip it or paint it. Okay, I'm not getting any comments again. Okay, and you want to make sure it's pretty dry underneath before you start sanding. Let's let that dry for a minute while I get there we go. This is working. This is just a nail file, and I'll show you the difference on each side here in a sec. This is tricky, but that worked perfectly. You get the little excess out. And see the difference on that side versus this side? So let's get the nail file in on this side here. That was a part I was worried about, but this nail file, I have to get some new nail files. It's working beautifully. Okay, there we go. All right, excuse me 1 second here. I gotta blow my nose. Must be getting a cold or something. Okay. Oh, Kim, I love all Reba Rose's papers also. They're just beautiful. And I bought some, I want to change the, that it's spring now, but I did last year buy so many Christmas prints, and I never got to use them, so I can't wait to use them. But I got to put in an order for some more prints here. Okay, I think this is going to be so super pretty. So you could get any type of wooden cutout and use her prints on. You don't just have to put the print in a picture frame or on a square piece. And that's kind of what my thought process was today when I did this, to show you something that you would think, which it would look beautiful just framed or maybe on a silver platter, would work just as well on a whole different piece. Look at this, guys. Is that not gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, now let me just cover. Now, let's hold off on covering that. Let's distress my edges. So I'm going to get another one called, I want Vintage Photo in my little brush. Let's go around the edges here, especially for the middle part of my butterfly here. I love distressing my edges. You guys know that. I don't know if you could tell much of a difference, but I can on my end. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you love it. And after I put that distressed ink on, I am going to seal this with my Mod Podge. Okay, so we're just going to set that aside and let that little guy dry while we distress the butterfly here. And I'll do one side and show you, because when you have a print and you're distressing, sometimes you want to use a darker color. Like this is Vintage Photo, so it's very light, but that's what I want on this piece. But if you really, really want it to show, you might want to use Ground Espresso or even black. To see, you could barely see it. but that's what I want. Because her prints are so pretty. I don't want to take away from her prints, but I like this as a finished look on mine. But like I said, when you have a print, you want to go with a darker color so it would stand out from your print. Now, this Distressed Oxide is also water-based. So when I put that Mod Podge on it, it does activate it a little bit. It does spread a little bit, and it makes it a little brighter, and you'll be able to see the edges just a tad more. Let's get some of the edges here real good on the butterfly. All right. And on the wood pieces, so you can still see around the edges where I've done the distressing. I bet you everybody's so glad it's Friday. Everybody who's working, I remember. Oh, God. Well, I can't say that when I first started working because I worked in a hospital. As you guys know, I'm a retired nurse. So there was never a Friday working shifts and that. But when I went to the outpatient center, and it was Monday through Friday. I love Fridays. All right, so let's just seal this with our Mod Podge. I hear the birds chirping outside, so that's a good thing, right? All right. Let me put the lid on this first. Set that aside. Wrap up our paintbrush. Go through all the steps, right? I'm getting dry this. Hi, Lisa. Watching from work. Oh, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you get a chance. And aren't you glad it's Friday? Whoopee, whoop, whoop. I would still be drinking coffee. Well, as a nurse, we drink coffee all day long. And I always was a coffee lover. But I'll tell you what, since I've retired, I'll have my coffee during the day, or like if my friends and we go out, we'll go to the coffee house and get a nice, specialty coffee. But I don't drink as much as I did. Get that one little piece of fiber because these are rice paper. So see how you can see the edges a little bit? Okay, and the edges on this one a little. So let's set that aside and let it dry. And the background of our picture frame is this cardboard. Let me set this back here, guys. And I have material that I coffee stained, but I think I'm just going to cut a piece of material because I think that would be very pretty for the background of our butterfly, because you don't want to have the background fighting with your butterfly print. You want your butterfly to stand out and your background to be a little bit more quiet. Does that make sense? All right. And I got this last year from Hobby Lobby, and I was making a lot of bows with it. Let me cut this edge off, which, you know, I usually just rip mine. I think I want it just like that. So then we'll trim around it since it's going in a frame. Hi, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Joy, if I'm not following you, I will follow you when I'm done and check you out here. And everybody else who sees a follow sign, give everybody a follow. Because that's what we strive to do, to get out there in the community and make friends with you guys and show you some good techniques and have fun. And it's free to follow, and you might find somebody new that you like. I'm telling you what, I have been following the same group of creators. And we're kind of friends, and I met a lot of them on a retreat, which retreats are wonderful to go to. I wish I could afford to go to more. I only have gone to one. And you do create a bond. But lately, I'm seeing so many more new crafters, and I'm loving it. Everybody's doing such a wonderful job creating things and inspiring each other. And if you're a creator, you need to get some Reba Rose papers. The Butterfly Connie I got last year from Lee Lexi Creations. And she cut this out, and I still got the butterfly little hoops on there. And I'm not sure if she's still making these or not. You could probably send her a message. And it's a cute little butterfly. It's not that big. And it came in 3 pieces. This piece, and the antennas. Alright. So I just Mod Podged this right on the back of this. You don't have to do anything else. And let's just trim it so it fits in the frame. So we're thinking outside the box for quite a few things on this craft. And I hope I've inspired you guys to make something using Reba Rose papers. Because when you look at her prints on her page, they're gorgeous. And you could do other things with it, like I just did. You don't have to use like the whole solid page if you don't want to. It's hard because her pictures are gorgeous, and it was hard to cut that up, to be honest with you. But I knew I had to do it. Had to do it to show you guys. So that made it easier for me. Oh, you need to get some bows made. You're terrible at it. Hi, Vicki. Vicki, you let me know. I can make bows for you. Here's some of the, I've been cleaning my craft room. And the material I just showed you, here's some of the ribbon. To make some bows. I got to get some more material and make some ribbon. When you have your bow dabber, you can make anything. I love my bow dabber. Now I'm going to get a bigger pen, and I'm going to get my vintage photo back out. You can wax this. But I'm just going to use my vintage photo and go around the edges and distress it. And then we'll put some Mod Podge on here. And Vicki, I wanted to say the video of the grand opening at where we have our stuff at our shop on Likely Treasures at Castle Shannon Boulevard. That video was awesome. And if you guys didn't see the video of the shop that I have my stuff in, and Vicki has her stuff in, go check it out. So I posted it on my page. And see how I'm just lightly going around the edges. And remember, it's water-based. So when I put Mod Podge on, it'll smear it a little bit or blend it. And it gives it a more standout look. which I have put this Distressed Oxide all over a picture and Mod Podged it. And it really smeared it, and it made it look very, very vintage looking, which I really, really like. So let's get the inner part of this. And remember, the butterfly I'm going to have sitting on the outside of our frame. So that's going to be a little different. So my whole technique today is different. And I hope, and it's a good different, I think. And I hope I'm inspiring you guys. So now I'm just going to go down the beads with this. And I got the picture frame at Dollar Tree. Oh my gosh, Vicki, thank you for doing that. That was pretty cool. I'm sure Lori appreciated that too. So you see how I just... Okay, so now let's just Mod Podge it, which will put a seal to it. It'll give it a little different look. And you just gotta make sure you don't have any clumps with these beads. And then let me do two sides and I'll show you the difference here of how the Distressed Oxide really brightens up. Which will correlate with our butterfly here. Do you guys see the difference? Remember, the Mod Podge dries clear, but you don't want any big clumps because that big clump might stay cloudy. And you can use any sealer. The Distressed Oxide will work like this with any sealer. And the more you go over that Distressed Oxide and spread it, the more and the more ink you have on, the more it'll spread. So if you're using the Distressed Oxide and you don't want it to spread, just be gentle with it, that's all. But it's a nice technique to get an old look. And I think it's so pretty. All right, let me wrap this up again. Cover this. Get this dried. Let me put the sander back. Wish you could get a little sander with just the grit that you need. Because I got all of the grits with, that I don't need. I ended up working an hour and a half. It is a beautiful place. And Vicki and I are talking about, if you follow me at Creating Vintage by Kim, you know that I've been taking my stuff to a antique booth here, which is new for me to do. And Vicki has her stuff there, and it's the grand opening this weekend. So we were pretty excited. And Vicki did a full video of every little corner, nook and cranny. And it was beautiful. And it really showed everybody's love for what they have there. It's a beautiful place. Okay. So, now before we get our butterfly together, let's put the glass in. We're going to keep the glass, I believe. Oops. Yeah. And then the print. And again, if I'm going to sell this, I'll take this tag off the back and paint the back. Okay, so that's what we have. Sorry about the light. And I think I do want that part up top. Yeah, because I want to see that rose. Okay. So let me turn around and get my good tight bond quick and thick. and my glue gun here. Now, before I do my type on here, which I love this stuff, you get 2 little antennas for your butterflies. And let me put a little bit of this there and some hot glue, which you're really not supposed to mix them, let me tell you. But it's only 1 hole for these little guys, so. Isn't that cute? Okay, let me let that dry a little. Excuse me 1 second here and blow my nose again. Okay. And then I'm going to put Tighten Bond on the outer of this. And on here. And this dries clear also. And for some hot glue for it to take real quick. But the Tight Bond Quick and Thick, it dries pretty quick. And I don't know if I got my butterfly. I should have probably put the, oh well. I should have probably put that up a little higher, but I think I like it that way. Let me get the glue off the back here. And I think I did it that way so you could see some of the roses on the print. There we go. That way you don't see anything from the back. Okay. And when we distress the side, see how you could see the distress? But look at Reba's print. Is that not beautiful? And you would have never thought I would do that with this print, probably. Oh my gosh. Ah! Okay, now I want it right there. I think I'm just going to hot glue it. And it's only going to stay on the ball part of the frame. And if it doesn't stay, I'll go back and like mark the area. I get a pencil and mark it so I know where to put my Tight Bond Quick and Thick. So let me look at this, guys. How beautiful. Is that not gorgeous? What a unique way to use Reba's papers and a butterfly. And we can make a little tag up here. We still see the roses in the back. We can make a little bow. We'll make a tiny little, you know me and my bows. Maybe I'll make a tiny bow right there. Okay. Oh, Capri, thank you. I didn't see you coming on there. And you'll have to go to the beginning if you missed it to see the whole print. Okay, let's get our little Bodabra. And like I said, I'm just making that stuck right to me, didn't it? A teeny bow, guys. And this is my coffee stained silk ribbon I use, but real thin. Okay. It's the thin one. It's the baby silk ribbon. Let me just jazz her up a little, right? Butterflies are beautiful. At the end now. Hold on. The only tricky part with this the thinner, you know, sometimes if you make things, you know, sometimes the smaller things are, the harder it is to do. And that's what it is with this ribbon. Since it's crinkled, it kind of wants to do what it wants to do, which when it's bigger, it's okay. But it being smaller right now, I'm trying to not let it get too out of control. More. Okay, I think we're good. And this isn't the string I normally use. This string's a little thicker, so hopefully we'll be okay. And it always says flip it around and tie it in a knot. This time I'm just tying a knot. I'm not flipping and doing all that. I'm just tying a knot today. And you gotta watch that you don't get other ribbon tied up in it. Okay, let's see here. It kind of went that way, which is okay, because it'll come down on the butterfly. Perfect. So it's not a round bow. I'll show you 1 second and then we'll get a little button, vintage button. See, it comes down. The little bow comes down there. And I like how I left the black up there on the butterfly. Excuse me. Must be getting something. And to make it look like its little head. Excuse me again, guys. Let's see. Perfect. Perfect. It's like, you know, when you put something on, if it's perfect, don't even look anymore. Okay. All right. Look how pretty. I think we need to make a little tag. Isn't it pretty? And you don't have to worry about it standing up because it stands up on its own. All right, let's get a little tag and then we'll be done. A little round one. I don't know what to put on here though. Well, like I said, these round ones are good for these little projects. We'll put it sticking out that way because it's really not covering anything. And let me stand up here where I have my ink pads. And I think we'll use black because there's black in there. And excuse me 1 second, I'm going to get some butterflies. I think I have some butterfly stamps over here that I just put away. Let's see, I see the birds. Okay, the butterflies, they're a little big. I think I have smaller ones. I just don't know where they are. But let's just use these. Even if it's a part of a butterfly, just like perfect because it's part of Reba Rose's picture. Right? And this is Tim Holtz butterflies. Sorry with the lamp. And I think let's see if I let's see, let's try. Let me see this one here. Okay. Need some more black ink. Let's see what it looks like. Ah. Okay, I needed to put it up higher, so I'm going to flip it around and do the other side. That still could have been up a little bit more. Boy, the detail on that. Okay, hold on, please. Let me blow my nose. Taking another tag. Because I'm not liking these, what I did. Because, see, it's down a little too far. You almost can't tell what it is. I'm looking at these other. Wait a minute, maybe I'll do a different butterfly. Yeah, let's do this one. I think it might show up better on a little tag. If it was the whole print, it would be perfect. All right, here we go. Try it again. Much better. You could tell it's a butterfly. All right, let me close this and then we'll wipe those off. And you could put a little word on here. If this is a gift for someone, you could put a little word in a picture frame. There we go. All finished. Is she not beautiful? And remember, this is Reba Rose. And it was Roses for Kathy. And it's number 0790. And if you missed the beginning, you need to check the beginning out to see the print we used and how we incorporated it into the butterfly. Isn't that cute? I love it. I absolutely love this little guy. And another thing, I would love a butterfly up there, but nope, nope, nope. Nope, not going to mess anything up. We're good. Okay, guys, that's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go get some Reba Rose papers because I'm going to buy some more here today. And thanks for watching. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you love it, guys. And you guys go and have a wonderful Friday. Bye. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.